Hello, we are going to do a problem involving an IV medication. Let's read the problem. In checking your patient's 10 a.m. medications, you notice that you have orders to infuse 50 milligrams of a medication in 100 mLs of D5W over 30 minutes. The IV tubing delivers 15 drops per milliliter. We are asked for three things. The first thing is the milliliter per hour rate. When I read through this problem, I find that we are asked to infuse 100 mLs, and we are given a time of 30 minutes. I'll use these two pieces of information to figure out the milliliter per hour rate. So 100 milliliters in a time of 30 minutes. I see that I need to change minutes into hours, and I can do that with dimensional analysis. I know that the label of minutes needs to be on the top to cancel. I also know that 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. My label of minutes will cancel, and when I do the math, I will have milliliters per hour. At this point, I go to my calculator and I multiply 100 times 60, and I divide by 30 to find 200 milliliters per hour. The infusion pump also asks me for the volume to be infused, and this is literally just reading, so we were to infuse a volume of 100 mLs. And it asks me for the total time. Again, this is reading, and so I can either write 30 minutes or I can write 1/2 hour. Either answer would be acceptable, and it would depend on the infusion pump how you would type your answer. Let's take a look at one more example. In this problem, we are asked to give the patient 500 milligrams of dopamine in 250 milliliters of D5W, and it's to be infused at 20 milligrams per hour. Again, we see the same three questions that we would need to type into the infusion pump. To figure out milliliters per hour, I look through my problem. I see a total milliliters of 250, but I don't see a time involved with that. I see a rate of 20 milligrams per hour, so that's not quite the right label, but I can convert. So I'll start with the 20 milligrams per hour because that at least tells me how fast they are to get the medication. And I'll convert. In order to convert this, I'm going to need to cancel milligrams. And up here in the problem, I saw that there were 500 milligrams dissolved in 250 mLs. So 500 milligrams is equivalent to 250 mLs of IV fluid. This allows me to cancel the milligrams. At this point, I'll go to my calculator. I'll multiply 20 times 250 and divide by 500, and I come up with an answer of 10 milliliters per hour. The pump also prompts me for the volume to be infused, which is simply reading, and I find that there are 250 mLs in the bag of medication. Ask me for the time. I have to do a little bit of math here. I know that the 250 mLs is to be infused at a rate of 10 mLs each hour. And this is my answer from the first part. So on my calculator, 250 times 1 divided by 10 gives me an answer that this infusion will take 25 hours.